President Donald Trump on Monday declined to dismiss speculation that he would seek a third term, saying he hadn't considered whether he would go to court to contest the U.S. Constitution's two-term limit for presidents.
I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers. If you read it, am I not ruling it out? I mean, you'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't.
But what barriers stand in the way of another term? Scott Anderson is from the Brookings Institution.
So the conventional wisdom, and I think it's the right one, is that he cannot. The 22nd Amendment, adopted in 1951, says no one may be elected to the presidency more than 2 times.
The amendment was ratified in 1951 after President Franklin D. Roosevelt broke with a self-imposed 2-term limit set by presidents since George Washington. Walter Olson is a senior fellow at the Cato Institute.
It's hard to find a provision in the U.S. Constitution that is any more clear, that is any more unambiguous than the 22nd Amendment. There are other provisions where you can argue for weeks about what they mean. It's very hard to argue about what the 22nd Amendment means. It's right there.
Trump's allies could theoretically change the Constitution, but that would require 2/3 support in the House and Senate, or a convention called by 2/3 of U.S. states, and then ratification by 38 of the 50 state legislatures. That is all unlikely in an era of intense political polarization between the Democrats and Trump's Republican Party. Currently, Republicans hold a razor-thin 219 to 213 majority in the House and a 53 to 47 majority in the Senate, and have control of only 28 state legislatures. Trump supporters say one way to circumvent the 2-term limit would be for him to run as vice president. The new president could then step down after victory, allowing Trump to take over. But scholars say Trump is barred from running for that position as well, due to the 12th Amendment, which says no person constitutionally ineligible for the office of the president shall be eligible to that of vice president of the United States. Trump himself dismissed the idea.
No, you'd be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't do it. I think it's too cute. Yeah, I would rule that out because it's too cute. I think the people wouldn't like that. It's too cute. It wouldn't be right.
Walter Olson again.
One of the things we should have learned by now about both terms of the Trump presidency is that with Trump, joking and not joking are a very illusory and transitory kind of thing. One day the joke turns into reality, another day the reality turns into, I was just joking. And you don't know until it happens often, which, if either, was his intention.
Trump could challenge the 22nd Amendment in the courts, though experts told Reuters that any such bid was unlikely to be successful. But Olson says legal worries might not be any deterrent.
So Trump, looking at all of this and being advised by lawyers, might think, okay, so what if it violates the letter of the Constitution? Who's going to stop me?
Jamaicans braced for Hurricane Melissa on Monday as the storm began lashing the Caribbean island with violent winds.
We're expecting catastrophic wind impacts with total structural failure.
The U.S. National Hurricane Center upgraded Melissa to a Category 5 storm with sustained winds of 165 miles per hour, likely the largest hurricane on record to hit Jamaica.
You have been warned.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness advised residents to evacuate to one of the nearly 900 shelters around the country.
Don't venture outside unnecessarily because the winds, as you can see, can pick up at any time. The rains can come at any time. You can be caught in a flash flood. So we urge you to, at this time, stay inside. That's the safest place to be at the moment.
The government ordered mandatory evacuations for several areas, including Port Royal and Kingston. Forecasters said the storm's slow movement over unusually tepid Caribbean water had contributed to its ballooning size and strength, threatening Jamaica with days of never-before-seen catastrophic winds and as much as 3 feet of rain. Matthew Samuda, Jamaica's Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change, cautioned residents on Monday not to panic, but said that time is running out.
The time for preparation is all but over. Time now is to listen to instructions, certainly if you're within any of the areas for evacuation, and to listen to reputable news sources.
Cuba, the eastern Bahamas, and Turks and Caicos also lie in the expected path of the storm, which will make its way north and east towards Bermuda later this week. Much of the eastern half of Cuba battened down ahead of the storm's expected landfall late on Tuesday. The hurricane is expected to stay well offshore of the United States, bringing only rough surf and minor coastal flooding to the U.S. East Coast.
Mélissa is going to do a lot of damage from what I see, so we're taking precautions because resources are tight.
We're fine here. They give us breakfast, dinner, and they take good care of us. The doctors come every day. Our colleagues from the Polytechnic come and take care of us, whatever we need. There's food for everyone because there are a lot of evacuees now, but the care is good.
We have nothing in our hands to live on. If a hurricane hits, we are screwed. If the hurricane comes on top of all the problems we already have, we'll simply die. My kids, my wife, and my family are somewhere else. We have nothing to eat to survive. This adds to the problem of bandits shooting all day. There's no way out except to die.
Protesters face off with police after Cameroon's President Paul Biya won an 8th term on Monday. At 92, he is the world's oldest serving ruler. But the main opposition challenger has also claimed victory. On the streets of Douala, his supporters say the vote was rigged, which the government denies.
The Cameroonian people, the youth of Cameroon, are demanding their victory by majority vote. We all know that Cameroon, the people, voted overwhelmingly for Issa Chiroma Bakari.
Biya won 54% of the vote against 35% for Chiroma, his former ally, the Constitutional Council said. If he serves the full term, Biya could be in power until he's nearly 100. After the results were announced, Chiroma wrote on Facebook that 2 people were killed after shots were fired at civilians outside his home in the northern city of Garoua. He did not say who had fired the shots. Reuters could not confirm independently what happened. Biya has tightened control since transitioning from Prime Minister to President 43 years ago. Over the decades, he's survived political turmoil and gradually introduced economic reforms. Opposition protesters have clashed with security forces repeatedly over the past week after partial results suggested Biya was on course to win again. There was no immediate comment on the result of this election from the government.
Elon Musk could leave Tesla as CEO if his proposed $1 trillion pay package isn't approved. That was the word Monday from the chairman of Tesla's board of directors, Robin Denholm. The appeal comes ahead of the automaker's annual meeting in early November. Denholm said in a letter the proposed plan was performance-based and that it aimed to motivate Musk to continue leading Tesla for at least another 7.5 years. She said Musk's leadership was critical to Tesla's success. Denholm added Musk's role was vital as Tesla looks to become a global leader in AI and autonomous driving technology. The proposed package would grant Musk 12 tranches of stock options tied to ambitious targets. It includes a market capitalization of $8.5 trillion and milestones in autonomous driving and robotics. Denholm's letter portrays the package as necessary to align Musk's incentives with shareholder value and long-term growth. Tesla's board has faced repeated criticism for not acting in shareholders' best interests. It's also been under scrutiny for years over its close relationship with Musk. A Delaware court struck down his 2018 pay deal earlier this year. It found it was improperly awarded and negotiated by directors who were not fully independent.
Paramount Skydance is set to lay off about 1,000 employees this week, marking its first major move since being created by a merger. The cuts reportedly begin Wednesday and will affect roughly 5% of the company's workforce. As of late last year, Paramount had nearly 18,600 full and part-time staff, plus thousands more on project-based contracts. The layoffs follow the $8.4 billion merger between Skydance Media and Paramount Global. They also come just weeks after Warner Bros. Discovery rejected a nearly $60 billion takeover bid from Paramount Skydance. Despite the setback, analysts still see David Ellison's firm as the bidder most likely to succeed in what would be the media industry's biggest merger in years. The Writers Guild of America earlier rejected the merger plans, saying it would diminish competition and free speech and would spell disaster for writers. Bloomberg reported Monday that Paramount Skydance plans to keep much of Warner Bros. Intact if the merger goes through, with Ellison aiming to retain creative teams at both studios while streamlining marketing and distribution.
Amazon is planning its biggest job cuts since 2022. It's aiming to axe as many as 30,000 corporate positions starting Tuesday. According to 3 people familiar with the matter, the e-commerce giant is paring back expenses and compensating for overhiring during the peak demand of the pandemic. The figure is roughly 10% of Amazon's corporate employees. Cuts beginning this week may affect teams such as human resources, operations, and Amazon Web Services. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said in June artificial intelligence tools would likely lead to more job cuts, automating repetitive and routine tasks. Earlier this year, he installed an anonymous complaint line for identifying inefficiencies. Sources say Amazon's 5-day back-to-office policy, among tech's most stringent, has failed to generate enough attrition. The sources cite that as another reason for the size of the layoff. Some of the employees who are not swiping in daily because they live far from corporate offices or for other reasons are being told they have voluntarily quit Amazon and must leave without severance, a saving for the company. Meanwhile, Amazon appears to be expecting another big holiday selling season. It plans to offer 250,000 seasonal jobs to help staff warehouses and other needs, the same as in the past 2 years.